Okay. Testing. Can you guys hear me?
Ford sucks big freaking you know what? I gotta keep it a little PG. Jesus, man. Fucking Dino, you ain't freaking kidding, man. Forget about it, man. Shit. This is uncalled for. Freaking Vaughn, man. Freaking Vaughn, I tell you. These freaking rat's asses, man. Shit. They need a talking to. A freaking beatdown. Forget about it. That's what I'm freaking saying. Shit. Non-stop. Baseball, bats. All day style. Forget about it. Let's see. Lag. Gone. Gone, right? Gotta be gone. Yep, the data rate, I lowered that data rate to the lowest setting right now. So I'm hoping everything is good now. But I can actually see myself, like, way behind in the video shot. But as long as I'm not coming out lagging on your end, that's cool. Forget about it. I'm waiting for BSP to get this message. All right, I think we're good. I think we're good. Okay. Let's see. That it's like about a 15-20 second delay. Okay. Wow, it's like a 20-second, 30-second delay once I'm done saying what I'm saying. This is perfect. This is freaking beautiful, Frank. Forget about it. Okay. So getting back to this, man. Getting back to this. While we were just so rudely interrupted, I tell you. Oh, unforgivable. 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 Forget about it. Okay. So getting back to this, I've been playing with a lot of Jennies, and there's certain things that qualities that I look for. All right. One thing is flavor. Gotta be flavor. That's number one. Every Jenny is very different from one another. Okay. They're like people. We're all freaking different. Okay. Forget about it. But you know, you do find the one that you really gonna enjoy and want. Okay. And the beauty of this is that I've been looking for a high-end Jenny device. Very high-end. And what do I consider high-end? Something that would give me maximum connectivity for the minimum amount of load drop. Okay? That's number one. That's a huge factor because everyone that has seen me on my GG videos and stuff, I stress that versus brass, versus stainless steel. I would like to see something with silver as well as especially with copper. Okay? And here it is. I mean, these guys, okay, JohnBoy and Dino, okay, they came up with this design and they made it extraordinary, out of this world. I mean, so out of this world that for a sub-ohm vapor, I am a sub-ohm vapor, as many of you already know. I had to even raise up the resistance. It hits that hard. Next thing I'm concerned about is flavor. Boy, did they really nail it. Let me tell you something. They kicked this buddy. They condensed the Addy chamber for the main purpose, for the flavor. I mean, look at this beautiful freaking device over here. Alright? This right here, this is Dino's and JohnBoy's new eye hybrid, the Copperhead. Okay? This is all copper. All copper. Copper. Okay? The switch, I am in love with this switch. I mean, I have many PVs with switches, alright? But this is like, you don't have to really press on it. It's beautifully. Totally beautiful. The Addy chamber is extremely small. Very small. Okay? Let me focus that for you. And I'm just gonna lower down the tunes for now to reduce the lag. I'm noticing that there is a little bit of lag, so I'm just gonna remove it temporarily. This is the Addy chamber, which I'm gonna focus.
There we go. Now, look at the threads. You know, to really, really look at this, I mean, look where the threads end. Look at the amount of distance that's left. Okay? I mean, you're looking at from there, from the last threading all the way there. I mean, you have a very, very, very small addy chamber. Okay? So it compresses the flavor. It's like espresso coffee, all right? You can compress those freaking beans, and it comes out super saturated. And that's what they did, okay? They saturated the vape, totally saturated the vape. Forget about it. Pressurize that vape to a point of no return, to endless joys of freaking vaping. That's for sure. Forget about it. Thanks, BSP, but I'm not going to restart this broadcast again. I'm going to leave it the way it is right now. So this addy chamber is so small that the flavor just drives me off the wall. The next thing I'm noticing that I really love about this mod is the thumb screw. The way you actually position the coil and you build the coil on this mod. It's a dreamer's reality, because when you're mounting the coil on the positive, and everyone that has played with an AGA or an RSST or another Jenny Addy, if you're using two nuts to tighten down the coil, the nuts keep turning. So you would have to use two pliers to tighten it, or you run into the risk that it's just the coil itself bends the mesh. It just bends it as you're tightening it. You don't have this problem. You don't have this problem on here. This is locked. This piece right here is completely locked. There is two washers in here. Let me see if I can focus that for you, because my camera is not focusing. There we go. Okay, so there is two washers, as you can see. And what these washers do, you pinch the coil between the two washers, and then you would use the thumb screw to tighten it. And you're losing resistance. You're not losing resistance. I know, I tested it. I'm telling you, you don't lose resistance on this. Forget about it. Oh, man. Odicon, how you doing, my man? I'm telling you, man, this network has been funny today. Cleaning-wise, it's quite simple. This, you unscrew the switch. It's one piece. Second piece, which is the button. Now, Dino showed me how to remove the compartment of the switch, which I will show you. It's no big deal. But I wanted to show you this. Look at these threads. They are completely sharp, really nice. Silver contacts. Plated on brass, yes, but silver contacts nonetheless. Forget about it. It's I'm telling you, it's a modder's. It's an enthusiastic vapor's dream to have something like this. You'll notice off the bat that the low drop is very, very minimal. But what I really want to do is I really want to get this coil going, because we've had some technical difficulties with Vaughn today, and it has been delaying. So I need to do this coil so I can show how this works. Forget about it, you know. And we're gonna use mesh on here. Now, I gotta tell you, as I'm doing this, I gotta tell you a story. I've been vaping this since last night, straight out to 4 in the morning, and it was with Dino's coil. It was good. It lasted till 4 in the morning because I was already passing the freak out. Forget about it. Then when I woke up this morning, it was dead already, because the amount of heat that I was pumping and generating on here was just too much. Like, I have to redo another coil. I did a dual coil this morning that people already saw on the video. That's what I was using. However, it was still, believe it or not, it was still strong for me. It was strong. And I'm not going to shy against that. I mean, I have to give the guy credit where credit is due. I don't know who came up with that idea, if it was between Dino or John, but I have to give credit where credit is due. I mean, it's making me use less NIC. I get more power on this device, extremely a lot more power, which I'm going to show you. And the low drop is like nothing. It's like nothing. It's something you don't really see compared to other Jenny hybrids and other Jenny or even mechanical devices. That outperforms a lot of mechanical devices. Totally. If they would come out with a cap with a 510 native connection to put on there so that people can use it as a mechanical mod if they wanted to, I don't know. It's an idea, but forget it. It will kick ass. There's no question about it. It'll kick ass. Oh, thank you, BSP. Forgot my manual focus was still going, but it will definitely kick ass. Now, I'm not gonna use up all this mesh, but I do cut a layer of mesh on the edges so I can remove all the threads so it's a cleaner cut. And when that's done, I just roll. But I'm gonna lower the camera in a bit so I can show you a little bit inside, a little bit up close on the device. I ignore chat. Oh, that gotta be Karen, because Miss Karen is the only one that will come up with that. Forget about it. I'm pretty sure Karen will provide you guys a link for the people that are interested to get on this list, but I really want to show them how it performs. I'm using a 400 mesh on here. That's what I'm actually using. I've used stainless steel rope yesterday and this morning. Now I'm just going to use mesh by itself and see. And I don't really fill up the whole tank with mesh. I just leave it about that much. That's it for me when I'm just using mesh. It works better for me that way. So now that I got my size that I want, I seal it. Thank you, Karen, for posting the link. Isn't she a doll? I tell you, this girl, forget about it. I mean, literally. Okay, let's see. Alright, so it's hot tamales, but I'm an insensitive prick, I tell you. Forget about it. I can take pain. Forget about it. Nah, just kidding. I'm a mush guy. Forget it. So, let's bring down the cam so I can start adjusting and show you guys the mod up close. A little bit up close and personal. Let's see. Woo-hoo. There we go. Alright, so let me zoom that in. Okay. So we got the mod right here. Okay. This beautiful thing, which obviously I don't have a battery. It's an 18490. You have a choice to use 18350 on the list. I'm just no battery inside just to work on the coil right now. I don't want to take a chance. So I'm going to be using 28 gauge Canthal. And just to show you the performance of this device, being that I already did the video this morning on duals, I'm just going to do it as single for now. And believe me, she's going to be pumping like there's no tomorrow at single coils. That is my proof to show you. I mean, no gimmicks. No dual coils. You're going to see what she produces at single. It's just unfreaking believable what this thing can give you. It's mind-boggling, I tell you. I did ask Dino if John and him would consider making a 18650 tube. He said, yeah, it's in the works, that, you know, later on down the road that would probably be an option. But as of right now, it's just the 18350 and 490 tubes. So if anybody was wondering, I know I was, because I wanted to pump out dual coils and very, very low. But after trying this device the way it is, there is no need for me to pump it the way I was pumping it before. This device, this is a revolutionary device would be the more accurate term and word for it, because of the minimal amount of drop on the volts. That's why we went to so low sub-ohms to get that heat factor. But being that they condensed the addy chamber, they also used the best connectivity for electricity, which is copper. Okay, and you got silver-plated contacts on here. Okay, and when you measure the drop load, it's just minimal, like exactly like the way I showed it on the video. Very, very, very minimal. So if I forget, let me just cut a piece of this off. And what I like to do is, so it gives me some support, I just stick the gauge in like so, and I work the device. Okay, I actually work the device. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a single coil action, maybe about 4 or 5 wraps of 28 gauge, and I think that may bring me to almost 1 ohm, believe it or not. And you're going to see what this baby can produce. When does people see me vape at those resistance? But I'm proving a point here. Proving a point. So as I keep wrapping, I like to adjust my coil on the fly. Of course, you know, Dino's going to grade me later. He's going to give me a fucking F for the coils. I know that for a fact. Forget about it, you know. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 5 wraps. As you can see here, let me focus that for you. There we go. So I'm going to try to adjust it a little better, but I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wraps, as you can see. Now, the beauty of this is, just to show you up close a little bit, is this thumb screw. You see that? This thumb screw has 2 washers in the middle. Well, hold on. I had a piece of metal, a wire in my hands. I can separate them. And it's because I just finished washing it. There we go. Okay. They're married together, I tell you. There we go. And you see that? Let me focus that. There we go. So those are the two washers open, okay? And they're big enough so that when you loop the wire in between, see, I'm just looping the wire in between. I don't have to do a full 360. I can just leave it like almost 90 degrees. See, I'm pinching it down here. I don't know if you can see that clearly. Let me adjust it. There we go. So I'm just pressing it down on my thumb. And as you can see, just with this, I can just tighten it with my own. That's it. I'm done. It's already tightened. The mesh didn't move. The mesh didn't move. The wire didn't move. It didn't turn. This locking mechanism that he has in place here is phenomenal. I mean, I even tried using a pair of pliers, and I still couldn't get that freaking mesh and wire to move. Okay, now that's phenomenal, I tell you. I mean, it doesn't have to be tight that the quarter is like screaming, but it is tight. Now, I mean, just to give you an idea, I just did this with my hand. See, I can't even get the cable to come out at all, and I just tighten it with my own fingers. I didn't use a pair of pliers. That's craftsmanship right there. You can't beat craftsmanship like that. And it's not China, for crying out loud. Fucking A, it's fucking US of A. That's for sure. US of A. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adjust a little bit as far as on these wraps. I think I cut that wire a little bit short. There we go. Which is fine because you can use the pair of pliers, snug it back in. Okay, so it's in. Fix the focus. There we go. So I'm putting in AW18490s is what I'm using. And let's see. Let me just to see, just to bring it down a little. And I like to fire it up nice and slow first just to make sure, but as you can see, the top one, to me, it's kind of glowing a little more. So let me just tap on it. So I think Dino got his wish. Holy shit. I think Dino got his wish. Nah, sorry to bust his bubble, but it didn't last that long. There you go. See? Look at that. You see how fast this thing lights? I mean, look at that. It's fucking amazing. Forget about it. Look at that. Okay? Beautiful. Forget about it. Oh. Oh, I tell you. She lights up like a freaking Christmas tree, this one over here. Look at that. Okay. So, now we'll measure the ohms. There's my multimeter. So we got friendly multimeter out. Okay. And we're at 0.2 internal resistance. We got to minus out. So let's check this bad boy out. I wish I had a third hand. Well, let's see if I can just do it from the straight up from the top. So we're at 1.3 minus 2, 1.1 ohms on this right now. So that's what it's saying. Let's see. Try it again. 1 ohms minus the 0.2. Okay, so we're at 1 ohms. Everybody knows I'm at 0.6, 0.7, and I'm not saying you can't do it on this device. You can, but just to give you an idea in performance what this thing can produce, forget about it. Oh, wait, this is the other thing that you need to look at. Forget about it. Let's put this on volts. Let's check the voltage of the battery. Oh, ishbet. Okay, so four point 4.13, okay? Write that down. 4.13. So we got 4.13, and we're gonna check out the low drop. Okay? Dun, 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 dun. Dino, I'm sweating more than you right now, man. Forget about it. Shit. Alright, so to do this, alright. You guys, if anybody that does this at home, you better be careful, man, because it's not pleasant. If it falls and it's still firing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna measure the current of. Hold on, let me first get the right positioning here. Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna fire it up, as you can see. 3.7, 3.9. See that? 3.945, 3.3946. So take the difference of 3.96. So we're taking 4.13 minus 3.96. Now, everyone that has worked with a mechanical mod, okay, and any mechanical mod, okay, and you put one of these tankometers on to measure the volt drop to see where it falls down to, knows on a fresh charge battery we're looking at 3.7, 3. In the mid 3.8s, unless you're running a variable voltage device that would regulate the voltage. But this is giving you 3.96, 3.95 on a load, on that load. It's freaking insane. It's freaking insane. When I do 0.6, it's a different. It's just as high. That's the thing. It's just as high. If I had two of these, I would mount another one at 0.6, 0.7, and I'll show you that it'll still show me at 3.89 to 3.92. It's still in the 3.9s, okay, at those ohms. But when you vape on it, boy, do you freaking feel it, boy. I mean, you end up feeling that thing, numbing your whole entire tongue like there's no tomorrow. Forget about it. Oh, I'm telling you. Oh. So now we gotta add some juice. Now we gotta add some juice. And I'm gonna use Blue Moon from Fluid Vapor. Feeling. And this is VG juice, baby. Well, 80-20. But I have to, I mean, I'm not trying to sell anything. It's not like I'm making anything from this device. I'm not trying to sell anything. I am just so thrilled. I'm like a little kid in Christmas, all right? That just opened up the freaking gift, I tell you. Forget about it. And it's something that I've been asking from modders. And the funny thing is, I didn't even ask this from Dino or JohnBoy. And they delivered it. That was extremely surprising. I would ask certain other modders, which will stay nameless because who needs enemies or drama and bullshit, okay? But we voice our things to the modders and we say we would like to see a mod built this way because we feel it's going to give more connectivity. They're like, nah, I like working with titanium. Nah, I like working with stainless steel. You literally get those responses. I kid you not. And it does end up sometimes you may know a little bit more than the modder, but somehow, being that the modder is paying for it, they get to decide, how they want it, and it's funny. It never dawned on me to say, hey, Dino, you ever thought of this? No. And look, right out of the freaking blue, they just came out with this. I'm just blown away. I'm just freaking blown away. Totally blown away. This works beautifully. Come on, let's get this thing pumping started. Forget about it. There's the juice. I'm gonna put a cap under there. You can already see how fast this thing is about to drip. Look at that. Look at that. You see that? I got a little thing. Look how quick this thing wicks. Okay? So now the other design, forgot to mention, is this glass tank. Okay? He placed an O-ring. There's two O-rings at the base. I really can't lift the tank up because I will let the juice out. But there is, on the base of this cap, there's an O-ring. Okay? And what it does is, the guy's fucking brilliant. Fucking brilliant. So when you're screwing this on, okay, he wants to make sure that you can position that hole on that mesh at all times. No matter if you end up breaking this glass, you get a replacement on this glass, so that there's no problems because of the threading of any sorts. Being that it's glass, anything can happen. So he put the O-ring on the bottom, so that way this distance, you see where the mesh is, and you see where this hole is? You can very easily just squeeze it to the mesh. And the only pressure, the glass is not causing any pressure to the metal at all. It's to an O-ring. To a freaking O-ring. Isn't that fucking brilliant, I tell you? Freaking brilliant, man. Oh, brilliant. Totally. Now, the other thing is, this also helps when you remove this cap, so it releases the tension. So now the glass tank is very easy to remove. So you don't have to go there and go like that at all. At all. So this is definitely pocket friendly. Pocket friendly. I'm using my drippy tip. Of course, Dino hooked me up, man. He let me use one of his famous drip tips that he had there. Forget about it. It was really freaking beautiful, man. Oh, shoot. You gotta... And it's funny, no one's seen it on the freaking video or actually the pictures that we took. Check it out. Isn't that nice? It's hot. I can feel it in my tongue. It's hot. I mean, look at the. We were measuring, I can't remember the measurements, but Dino and I, we measured the measurement as far as inside the Addy chamber, and it is so small. I mean, it is very small. I mean, look at that. Look how close the actual thumb screw is to the cap. Look at that. That is very, very, very freaking close. You know what that also looks like? Similar would be like the Ayati with the cone head. You know? Very, very similar. So you have a very, very small little gap. That's it. Very tiny. So the vapor is automatically going to come out very, very condensed, very saturated. I mean, it's just saturated in flavor. It is. I mean, when you try this with one of your juices, I'm telling you, you're going to think like they actually added more flavorings to your juice. It's saturating in flavor. So everybody knows I love cinnamon titties. I can imagine how they're going to freaking taste and smell on this. Yep. But as soon as I pick up some more from Fluid Vapor, because I ran out. Oh, man. It's freaking beautiful. How you doing? Do ya? Oh, man, I would love to try some ripened peaches. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Forget about it. That goes without saying. But, oh, Chopin, yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now, I would love, unfortunately, I don't have much time. I would have actually done another kind of coil build on here. But I only have this one device. I mean, it is pretty expensive. It cost me $300, this device, $300. Extra spare glass tank was $10. Dino has a list that he put up for people that wants one between an 18490 and 352. Now, the first 12 that he made, this is part of the first 12, so he didn't put any serial numbers, but it's 1 through 12. That's it. They're handmade. They're handmade. The others are going to be on CNC machines. Now, he did say everything will be the same, with the exception of the insulator. They're changing the color of the insulator. Well, a different insulator because it's a different color, right? So let me just look how you saw how moist that was in here. That it just went through as soon as I opened up the lid. It's just saturated in moisture. Okay, the insulator that's in here on the deck is colored black. It kind of looks like a Delrin insulator, but it's not. And I pumped out dual coils on here, and that did not melt. There is no melting. No melting of any kind. I mean, you can inspect it yourself. Here you go. I'm making this as focused as I can get right now, so you can see there is no stains. Absolutely no stains. Versus, I'm not going to name who, but you know who, okay? We had a minor mishap, which was corrected, but here, I don't have this problem. At all. Which is beautiful. So no headaches there. Now, I did this at 1 ohms, and I can push out a ton of vapor, and the amount of it's very hot. It's hot to the point that it's comparable to what I like at 0.6 ohms or 0.5 ohms. And at 0.5, 0.6, I was vaping at Dino. He made me the coil at 0.5 ohms. He did, and it was overpowering. Like it was it was so strong that my tongue was getting numb and I couldn't taste anything anymore. I was drinking water and it was like it was just so hot. I couldn't. It was just you. There was no need to. There's no need to. It's because of this copper. The switch. I didn't get a chance to take the switch apart to show you, but he does have a spring in there, but there is no electricity running through that spring, so it'll never get oxidized. Check that out. How many of us that we've had mechanical mods that we have to change springs? Or we bought a mechanical mod of a PV or a hybrid that the spring was already oxidized and we needed to buy new ones. I'm not going to name who, but we all experienced it, right? Yeah. Especially the blue one. Okay? Which was it was the freaking spring. We're not going to have this problem here. Ever. We don't even need to change this spring because it won't get oxidized. That's stellar. That's like thinking outside the box. Of all the problems and all the headaches that we've experienced in previous PVs, they fixed it all and bundled it up in one device. Now, however, there are certain bells and whistles that people may enjoy that this does not offer, but it makes up because of the performance. You don't have air control. You don't have the ability of doing a U-wick. But believe me when I tell you, you take a vape of this, you're not going to need the U-wick. I mean, the juice is like flowing in your mouth. When that moisture is hitting that tongue, the condensation, it just explodes. The flavor is like it's on steroids. I mean, literally like on steroids, man. Literally on steroids. It is the best thing that I've actually paid. That it's going to be with me forever. There's no question about it. It's one of those things that, you know, it's like an opportunity of owning a Porsche. Literally. How many times of a chance do you get in a lifetime to drive a Porsche? You know, and unfortunately, that's the only downside. But you get what you get. You pay what you get for. That's for sure. $300 for a performance of a lifetime of a vape that will leave you breathless every time you take. That's for sure. Let me tighten this up. Oh, man. This thing is just beyond. Unbelievable. And I can't believe we're still getting lag even with no music right now. It's unbelievable. Totally. Incredible. You can chain vape the hell out of this. I mean, you don't get no dry hits. There is no dry hits. Delicious, I tell you. Forget about it. So with that, guys, it's 10 o'clock this evening. Sorry about earlier with the issues with Vaughn. Hopefully, Saint will have a better time with this network. I hope, man, something gets straightened out with Vaughn. I tell you, man, because this is ridiculous. We can't condone this. That's for sure. Forget about it, you know? Unbelievable. But I appreciate everyone stop by. Take a look at the Copperhead. The list is up on Facebook. Karen posted up the link. And if you have any questions, feel free, PM me about it, or, I'll talk to Dino and see if we can have Dino come in for a few minutes and talk about the mod, if anything, next week. But we'll see, depending on schedules and stuff. But soon, definitely soon, that's for sure. But thank you guys. I know Saint Vape is ready. He's up next. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. Live hard, baby, and vape hard. Forget about it.